put in here usual shilling like comment, subscribe, rate, share, whatever. Let's begin with these old world news that we have. And boy, what news do we have? Let's start with the first one. With the Bretonnians are coming back. Of course they are. There's going to be new models for the Bretonnians, which are the old models, I guess, but still, it's better than nothing. We'll also get with them rules for Exile Knights and Crusades. Exiles being like dishonored knights and how they act and stuff. And Crusade is when all knights of Bretonnia, questing and Grail and whatever you like, come together for one huge war. Now let's touch upon the second subject of this thing, which was one that I was more interested in, and that's basing. Now, hear me out. Model sizes will not increase in this one. Luckily for us. What will happen is that base sizes are going to increase because Games Workshop, like many other things, like to overcomplicate stuff and make things more detailed and, for many of us, harder to paint. But still, something. Another important thing is your models will not suffer from changes. The old models that will be brought back for the new world are going to be exactly the same. The only thing that's changing is the base size. Remember when I said that Games Workshop likes to overcomplicate things, like most companies and most things that are related to design? They like to overcomplicate things, and so your 20mm bases are going to turn into 25mm bases. Some of them will remain the same, the 25 usual millimeter bases. Some might remain the same, some might even see an increase in size. But still, it's something. This tells us something very interesting. Oh, also, the Warhammer community page on Twitter just said that all models are coming back. So when this happens, go to Games Workshop and buy your beautiful armies made with chariots and Skaven Doom wheels and Bretonnian knights, which are probably not going to be made in metal. So that's a point. Hopefully the blood dragons aren't going to be expensive as they are or used to be. Not a big fan of their prices for the resin fine cast stuff. Nevertheless, these are the news that we have today. And overall, I have to say the Bretonnia part is interesting. I always gravitated more towards it. It and the Empire, excuse me, I'm taking a 40k, and the Empire, I just like the old medieval Renaissance European stuff. I guess it also comes as a fact because I'm European myself, Romanian though, so not really gonna see any Romanian representation except the Strigani, but I think the Strigani will become like the Pygmies in Warhammer Fantasy. A footnote that they don't want to touch upon, even though they might have liked the idea and the concept in the beginning. Nevertheless, let's go back to our main topic. It's interesting and I like it. I like the fact that we're getting old models back, old models as new models, whatever you want to say. And that's very interesting, and now that makes my cheap Skaven and High Elf armies that I bought from the last box of Warhammer Fantasy not that useless anymore, except the base sizes, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of rebasing models, of changing their bases, but they will come with movement trays, so it's a rank and file game after all, and that will probably help mitigate as long as the movement tray is the corresponding size. Also, fun fact to note is that they basically say you can also buy proper sized bases for your new old world armies from them, which okay, makes sense. I think they sell bases in different sizes already, but now they'll be bringing back or selling the old square bases because remember, still a rank and file game, whatever you may do to it, which is interesting and it's nice. I always prefer square bases. I'm not a big fan of Age of Sigmar, as I've said plenty times before. And I don't really like the fact that most models that come from the old world into Age of Sigmar are kind of relegated to round bases. I'm a big fan of square bases. Rank and file it is then. Still, that's nice that we're getting those bases. Nice that Games Workshop is going to sell them to us. Of course, at a marked up price, but what can you do at this point? Games Workshop will always sell stuff at prices that are not, how should I say this, not that nice to the customer. But nevertheless, they still make this game and this universe that we like, and we will go with it. That's a different discussion. For now, what's important is that I'm really liking what they're doing. Again, not a fan of the base increases, but still, it's good that they'll be selling bases. It's good that we're getting more rules for Bretonnians. It's good that we're getting old models back so they can feel useful. Movement trays are a must. Again, rank and file game. And it's still good. Things until now are looking... I'm going to be honest with you. Things are looking quite decent, in my opinion. And as decent as they are, I also have this little scare in me that at the end of the day, it might not come out as good. I fear that the old world might be relegated to some of their older games that haven't really seen either much popularity or much play, and that's a little bit frightening. I'm gonna be honest with you, because initially, remember that they axed Warhammer Fantasy very quickly, thanks to a bunch of mismanagement steps on their side. And now they're bringing it back thanks to the success of Vermintide 2 and, what was it again? Total War Warhammer 3, which is good, but still, I'm skeptical because I know what they did last time to it. History is a nice thing to learn about, especially when it tells you and shows you patterns that form regarding such aspects. Nevertheless, I'm scared, but still, probably when it comes to things related to Games Workshop, I am hopeful. I don't think I've been hopeful in quite a long while that this might just be what it needs to be. I think this might just be good. It has the potential to be, even with the change that I don't really like the base increase, still it is pretty good and it's nice, it's interesting, I'm into it overall. So I think there is some validation to have hope for the old world, and I hope it will do amazing. I hope it will live up to the expectations, and I hope it will be amazing, because at the end of the day, if this fails, there's gonna be no more old world except 9th age rules, but the models, the original universe, everything's still gonna be there. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.